This is for all of those who are on the dating scene right now. One of the trends I'm seeing is spreadsheets. So it's people coming forward with spreadsheets of their dating life. And I've seen spreadsheets with dozens and dozens of people. I think there was one with over 100 men on this spreadsheet, and it's both men and women who are making these spreadsheets. And it will have the name, it'll have columns, and in those columns, there might be a drop-down list of color of hair, how much hair, height, weight, physically proportioned, job, education. There's all these columns, all these little data points. And it seems like it's a great way to go about the dating scene, especially when your inbox might be flooded or you've been doing this for a while. But what I see is it leaves people wanting something. I mean, hey, I get the strategy. It's hard to remember everybody and you don't want to lose people along the way, but there's something missing that I haven't seen anyone able to capture yet, which is how did my heart feel when I was with them? What's the data point for heart? What's the data point for really feeling a deep connection? And maybe you could give it a number. I feel connected from 1 to 10, give it a 6. But there's just something about putting data points on a spreadsheet that I have not seen transition to a really healthy, beautiful relationship. Again, I get why people do it. You can stay organized. You got all the information there. You can organize, you can synthesize, sometimes you can sanitize. You can really clean all this stuff up, and it makes for rational decision making for sure. But what I also see is that with some of my clients, it becomes a protective mechanism. Protective mechanism. See, I knew they didn't have quite the right uh, data points. They didn't have quite the right number. So of course it didn't work. It's as if they're walking into a coffee date already sure it's not going to work. I totally get it. When someone's been searching for a while or they've had heartbreak, I totally get, hey, let's make sure all those things are there that did not exist in the last relationship I had. So it's practical, it's protective, but it also starts to view that person as a transaction. It takes the humanity out of the relationship. It takes the emotion out of it. It takes an art and tries to make it a science, whereas relationships really are an art. They're not a science. Relationships are built on connection, on chemistry, on feelings, and not did they meet the height requirement? Did they meet the hobby requirement? So there's this transactional trap that people fall into, treating dates as this series of data points, a series of transaction meeting the criteria, making sure someone has the right statistics. And mostly what I see is people who get frustrated. And it works for a date or two and then it's gone. Dating, relationships, I believe require somewhat of a surrender. So once all the basics are there, like, am I attracted to this person? Can I let go of all of the data requirements and surrender into just the experience of the moment? Can I go into this coffee date or this dinner or this dance, whatever it may be, without the judging or the evaluation and rather the curiosity? Because ultimately what comes down to any good relationship, am I attracted to this person? Do we have an alignment of how we see the world? Not that everything has to be exactly the same, but do we have a complementary alignment in how we see the world? And can I see myself being committed to this person's health and well-being? Could I see them being committed to my health and well-being. And certainly this is not something that you'll always know after that first latte, but that's the space of, are they a match for me, rather than, do they weigh a certain amount? Do they exercise a certain amount? Do they eat the right foods? And so to do that, to find out, are we aligned? Or we have a dedication to each other's health and well-being? Do we have like an excitement? There are some things you can actually point to, right? Do we vote the same? Not that we have to vote the same, but could it be complementary? Or if not, could we live like that if they're opposed? But there's a check-in, there's a embodied check-in. And the first step might simply be, when I'm with them, do I feel them with me? Or are they always kind of looking at their phone or looking somewhere else? Are they distracted? Can I feel them with me? And when I'm with them, do I feel really present? Or am I also wanting to grab my phone? Am I also being distracted? Am I also wondering, when is this going to end? So do I feel them here? Do I feel myself here? And then, rather than the data points of weight and height and education, I would go through, can I trust them with my heart, like with my feelings? Can I share my feelings with them without being wronged for how I feel? Can I share with them my soul, like my deepest yearnings? Can I trust them with my body? Can I open up to them? Does my body feel safe around them? And this is a question for men and women to ask. Do I feel safe with them? Can I trust them with my body, with my heart, with my soul, perhaps with my thinking? Can I trust that if I share an idea with them, that I won't be made wrong for it? I won't be belittled for it? I won't be dismissed? Not that they have to agree with everything, but can the idea be welcome? So I get it. There's an appeal to spreadsheets. Hey, I love a spreadsheet. There's an appeal to spreadsheets, but it's limited. It's limited because often it leads to a transactional relationship rather than an emotional, a deeper, a more profound relationship. So the next time you're on a date, leave the spreadsheet aside. When they go off to use the restroom, don't whip out your phone and start putting in the data. We talked about this. I didn't like when they did this, or whatever it might be. But instead do a check-in, like, oh, yeah, I feel good. I feel present. Or I feel distance. Gosh, I want to get out of here. Listen to that message. Listen to that message in your body. If you have some experience with spreadsheets or checklists in dating, and whether it worked or didn't work, I'd love to hear about it. If you put it in the comments, I would really love to hear more about that. And whether you're working with spreadsheets or not working with spreadsheets, my hope for you is that the next date is an amazing date, that it's a date that has you feeling, yes, this is where I belong. This is the start of something new. My blessings to you.